Greetings, happy new moon. Thank you for joining me this evening. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll start out with a word of prayer. We give thanks for this moment of time. We give thanks for the cycles and seasons of this life. We give thanks for the reality that we are divine beings. We give thanks for the reality of divinity, the reality of God. We give thanks for our expansion in wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of what it truly means to be a divine being. We give thanks for the divine assignments that have been channeled for this new moon. May this session be fruitful for us. May we walk away from this session clear, courageous, and ready to move into our new selves, to move into our new lives, to continue on the journey of our new lives. We give thanks in advance for everything that's to come of this session. Ashe. Amen. 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 All right, I want to jump in because I don't want to take too long um, to let us go ahead and get started with the assignment. I want you to be able to get the full assignment and then walk away from here with the assignment and take the rest of this new moon period, which is the next couple of days, to really sit with the assignment. I really want you to sit with the assignment and really embody it and give over to it. All right. So in this new moon period, you know, it's a very significant time. This is a super new moon. We're in a eclipse. We're also still in the midst of a Mercury retrograde and a Venus retrograde. And there's some other things happening energetically. What I am putting forward as my contribution to the conversation about divine assignments is we are being called to get very clear about who or what is being called forward through us, right? Who are you unfolding to be? What are you unfolding to be? What is your inner being calling for you? What is that inner voice? And, we hear this, especially tuning in with me. You're going to hear this all the time. Like, tune into the inner being. What is it saying? What is it telling? How is it guiding you? All these different things. But truly, we are in a time where there is a true rebirth going on with us. And some of us are really kind of fighting it. We're kind of fighting it. And I get it because some of it is just absolutely not logical and then it's not reasonable. You just cannot use your logic or reason to comfort you. And we have been in a comfort zone of where we're able to reason with ourselves and we're able to grasp for logical meanings and reasons and plans and guides and all these different things. And we are being cultivated to a place where we let the attachment to that go. The attachment to what? The attachment to reasoning and the logical mind and this earthbound thinking. We are being challenged. So with that, we are also being challenged to walk in faith and not by sight. And walking in faith means you're tuning into something higher, greater, into something inward, into something that you most likely can't see. You're tuning into that and you're trusting that. So I'm going to say to you, if you still have issues with trusting yourself, I really want you to focus your work around that. Focus some of your personal work around trusting yourself, trusting the higher self, the inner guide, the intuition, the inner knowing. If you're having a difficult time doing that, focus some work around it. I'm telling you, a few years ago, I had to focus some attention on establishing that trust. That was the foundation. I didn't have my rock. And so I was being rocked because I didn't have my rock. My rock could not be the elders who I was blessed to have in my life. My rock could not be the friends and the family and it couldn't be any of that. Spirit told me very clearly it can be none of that because all of those things can come tumbling down. And they cannot really tell you what spirit is trying to tell you. So you will never live at the capacity of what God wants to see manifest through you if you don't tune in and tap in. Okay. So the whole theme of this whole new moon period, if you ask me, and if you're tuned in here, then you asking me, is, you know, what, who is being called forward through you? Remember, I constantly say, God is always expressing itself through you as you. It wants to express itself through you as you. Who or what? Who and what is being called forward through you in this present moment? And so we're oftentimes, we don't see this life as an infinity sign. So we feel like we have this finish line. We have this place that we got to go. We have this person we got to be. No, this is us. This is us. And you may be here. I need you to identify that you're there. You may be here. I need you to identify. You may be there. It goes like this. It goes like this. I just need you to be aware. Where are you? What's being called forward? Who is being called forward? And so that is what this, this is the year of the snake. It's a lot of shedding. I mean, but we've been saying this for some new moons and full moons, right? We know. It's a time of shedding. It's a time of rebirth. It's a time of out with the old, in with the new. It's a time of dying, the seed falling to the ground and dying so that it can grow, bloom, to blossom in its fruit. It can grow its fruit. This is that time right now, right? And that's not going to change for a while, right? We're really at the tip of the iceberg with this. But it is it's very essential, beneficial, important, if you will, to lean into that practice with tuning into your intuition or your spirit or your inner guide, being courageous in it, asking yourself key questions, and making sure that you are in tune with the shift. Because some of us, our life is shifting, but we're not in tune with it. We're actually in resistance to it. And you can tell me all the reasons why, but I'm telling you that until you're able to be courageous enough and steadfast enough in your sanctity to listen and be obedient, be in awareness and then be in obedience, then the hunches are gonna become punches. Okay. Not suck teeth. The way you suck your teeth, baby, you suck your teeth. Them hunches gonna become punches. That's just real. That's just how it goes. Okay. And then you may need the punches. I'm not here to try to, you know, I'm not here to try to take away from your journey. If your journey has punches on it, okay, but some of us, we just need to follow the hunches, be a little bit more courageous. All right. So, if someone can take up the duty of typing these questions out, I'm asking you to grab your piece of paper and your pen and write these questions. These are the questions that I first want to offer you as I am introducing you to the new moon assignment. Again, with this new moon assignment, I really want you to sit with it, okay? I'm going to spend some time explaining it, but I really want you to take the entire new moon to sit with this assignment, okay? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring us to a centered place so that we can receive the assignment. So what Spirit's telling me to do is go ahead and do the meditation part now. Bring us into a centered place. Then I'm going to introduce you to the questions. It's about 10 questions that I'm going to give you to really sit with. And then from there, you're going to have an assignment. That's a part A, and then you have a part B to the assignment that I'm going to give you. But let's just first center ourselves. I know some of you were not planning on being on this call this evening, but some kind of way you were able to see the special invite. So I welcome you into the call this evening. The special invite to those who are not members. Welcome to the call this evening. That means you were supposed to be here today. You're supposed to be doing this work today, so I give thanks that you are here. Give thanks for all of the members who are tuned in and all those who are here as guests. So let us center ourselves in this new moon energy first, and then we'll go into the assignment. Find yourself in a comfortable position. Of course, I want you to start out tuning into the breath, tuning into the body. So let's go ahead and take some deep breaths in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth or nose, whichever one you choose. Keeping in mind that through the mouth releases, through the nose relaxes. Okay. So you may do a combination of both. Inhaling in deeply through the nose and exhale through the mouth or nose, whichever one you choose. Slow that breath all the way down. Really tune into the body, inhaling as deep as you can, and then exhaling as slow as you can all the way out. As you continue to deeply inhale and slowly and completely exhale, go ahead and focus on relaxing the body, relaxing your shoulders, your arms, relax the hands, feel your hips, your legs, relax. And just come into this present moment. So be present in the body, be present in your body, be present in your heart space, be present in the shoulders, be present in the arms, be present in your body. Be present in the breath with only one goal, and that's to slow the breath all the way down and bring that heart rate all the way down. Bringing that frequency as close to 528 as possible. And that is the natural breath, free of any restriction, free of any tension. Bringing your body to that same place. Relax. Tune into my voice as you continue to breathe at your own pace. Continuing to relax completely. In this moment, we acknowledge the cycles of the moon and how it impacts our lives. We are tuning into this new moon energy, super new moon energy, primed for planting fertile seeds in fertile ground. We speak that this time we will spend doing our journaling, our reflection, will be like the time that farmers and growers spend in the garden, planting seeds in soil that has been tilled, that has been cultivated, that is now ready for those seeds that's been planted. We speak that this time will be as such. Not only this time while we're in this session, but the time that we pick our journals back up and sit with our assignment. Every thought that we have, every reflection that we have will be like planting seeds in fertile ground. May we all have clarity. May the reflections be sound and complete. May, as the Almighty is revealing things to us, through us, may we be able to hear. May we go into this session open, ready, and knowing that the work we are doing is not only effective, but divine. We speak that this new moon will leave us feeling new, renewed, regenerated, rebirthed. We accept that we have power and dominion in our lives. And as we tune to the frequency of the Almighty through this moon cycle, through this universe, we give thanks for the awareness, for the guidance. Just sit in this moment. Notice how calm, how relaxed you are. And be reminded in every moment of this assignment to relax and flow and be honest. Take one last deep breath in through the nose. Hold that breath. Hold it. And exhale through the nose or mouth, whichever one you choose. All right. Okay, let's get into it. Are we ready? Thumbs up if you're ready, giving thanks. We're centering ourselves. This is something that you want to do before you, all right, I got a thumbs up. This is something you want to do before you journal, before you go into your prayers. You want to pause, take a breath, center yourself, release the world, get into your body, get into your breath, come into the present moment, and then move into your reflection time or your prayer time. Okay, let's go. Here are the questions that we're gonna reflect upon. The question is, who or what is being birthed through me? Who or what is being birthed through me? Question number one, what is asking to come alive within me right now? What is asking to come alive within me right now? Like I said, if I could have at least one person, whoever do it first, if you could do that, type the questions in the chat. What is asking to come alive within me right now? Number two, I'm gonna go back and read them again, but we're gonna keep flowing. Number two, what parts of my old self am I ready to release to make space for the new? What parts of my old self am I ready to release to make space for the new? One more time. What parts of my old self am I ready to release to make space for the new? Now, I want to clarify here this parts. Parts could be habits, memories, beliefs, standards, values. Those are the parts, okay? Standards, beliefs, values, memories. Some of us need to wash the memories. And no, just because you want to forget them don't mean you will. So guess what I tell people to do? Rewrite the story. Rewrite the story. So as you remember, it's a different story. Okay, if you have a hard time with that. Thank you, sis, for typing these in the chat room. Number three, if I fully trusted my divine purpose, what would I create or become? If I fully trusted my divine purpose, what would I create or become? And let me tell y'all something. As y'all start this reflection and start writing, don't let that ego jump in and be like, well, you too old for that. And you got to tell the ego to hush. We just reflecting right now. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You are allowing spirit to speak to you through you. So give it the floor and tell the ego to sit down. Okay? It's always trying to grab the mic. Y'all know how the ego be doing. Maybe it's just my ego. I be having to. Can you? Did nobody ask you all that? Please relax, calm down. Right? But did nobody ask? It's gotten better over time. Thank you, God. But I get it. So I'm just want y'all to know I understand. Don't let that ego do that. Thank you, sis. If I fully trusted my divine purpose, what would I create or become? Number 4, what gifts, visions, or callings have been nudging at me lately? How can I nurture them? What gifts, visions, or callings have been nudging at me lately? How can I nurture them? Let me say something about this nurturing part. Notice what it said. How can I nurture them? You know how parents be, you just be wanting to bat your eye and want your child to be grown, mature, know everything. No, okay? You have to nurture the child little at a time. Do this and do that and expose it here and show them this and take them over here. And that's what you have to do with a child. That's the nurturing process. You have to kind of pay attention to him or her, see what they need. Okay, so this is what it's asking you. What gifts, visions, or callings have been nudging you lately, and how can you nurture? Look up the word nurture, look up the etymology of the word nurture, so you can be clear about what your assignment is. Okay, because we'll have a calling and we just want to be it. It's calling me to do this. Okay, let me do it. Like, no, nurture it. That's all you're being called to do. Nurture it. You'll know what to do to nurture it. Okay, let's keep going. Number 5, who am I becoming? And how is this version of me different from who I've been? Who am I becoming? Who? Okay, I almost want to tell us to look up the word who. Okay, who am I becoming? And how is this version of me different from who I've been? That question in its entirety is very important. Don't just say, who am I becoming, and get all excited in your journal and not answer that second part of that question. Who am I becoming, and how is this version of me different from who I've been? Because sometimes you have to be clear about what you're not anymore. So I'm being called to be this who. So who am I? But who am I? How am I different from this who? And this is going to help you to realize your new values, your new standards, your new boundaries. All of these things come with a rebirth. Okay. Number 6, what fears or doubts need to be dissolved so I can fully birth what's inside me? What fears or doubts need to be dissolved so I can fully birth what's inside me? One more time. What fears or doubts need to be dissolved so I can fully birth what's inside me? What's behind these questions? Clarity. Okay. We're clearing the air. We're clearing the mind. We're clearing the heart. We're clearing the soul. What do we do as students of Christ consciousness and metaphysics? How do we dissolve? What do we do? What is it called that we do to help us to dissolve these fears? What's the practice? Shanique said tab. The tab it out. And then what? But what is the word for that? Renunciation. Thank you, Colleen. We do renunciation. But that's what we're doing, Shanique, when we do the tab. We're renunciating. We renunciate. Okay. So that's a constant thing we have to do now. And that could look like sitting down and journaling, or that could look like literally having a conversation with your ego. Like, look, that's okay. Look, I do understand why that fear is there. You've experienced this, you've experienced that, but here is the truth of the matter. Okay? Here's the truth of the matter. So relax, because we're walking in truth, in spirit and in truth. The new me walks in spirit and in truth, different from the old me that walked in reasoning and logic. I walk in spirit and in truth. We don't serve the same God. I'm just thinking about those who may push back on that. You got to be reason. You got to be logical. I don't serve the same God that you serve. I walk in spirit and in truth, not reason and logic. Because as I am in spirit and in truth, it provides me with the reason and the logic. And if I try to explain that to you, you may not understand it because you're not walking in my spirit and my truth. The I that flows in me. Okay. It's only one I in each one of us. And it's a part of the one. But you have that individual I for you. Okay. Renunciation of firm truth. Yes. Alex, that's a part of renunciation. Making sure, though, with that affirmation of truth, you're also negating or denying. We call it denial as well. A part of the affirming truth, you have to add the deny. Deny and affirm. That's what renunciation is. Denying something, that's very important. You have to deny it and affirm truth. That's why tab is such a powerful exercise, because it's just going to have you to acknowledge, then deny with the statement, I totally accept and believe. And then you affirm the truth through your truth statement with the tab exercise. All right. I think we needed that little reminder for the fears and doubts. Got to dissolve. Give thanks. Okay, number 7. What? Okay, this is for you, you, and you, and me too. Number 7. What daily practices will support the growth of this new version of me? What daily practices? I'm going to throw in there rituals. What daily practices? Same thing as rituals. Something you do ritualistically every day, every day. What daily practices will support the growth of this new version of me? Thank you. Number 8. If I saw myself through the eyes of spirit, what would I recognize about my power, beauty, and potential? If I saw myself through the eyes of spirit or your higher self, if I saw myself through those eyes, what would I recognize as my power, my beauty, and my potential? The 3 things I want you to identify. Through the eyes of spirit or your highest self, what's your power? What's your beauty? You know, it's interesting. I did a deep dive in the word beauty because this society makes beauty seem so, I don't know, shallow, surface level, superficial. That's the word. That's the perfect word. Superficial. Beauty. Once I did a deep dive on that, I have a newfound respect for the concept of beauty and how beauty is an aspect of God. And I start to think of how you see these birds like on Instagram. Thank God for the internet and Instagram, because you see all type of stuff you've never seen before. But it's all these beautiful birds. And when you start looking at the species of flowers and even how all type of things have beauty in them. Why is beauty, why is beauty, um, I'm sorry, I saw somebody in my peripheral. You see somebody out the window? No, it's not. It look like a Asian brother. I'm sorry, y'all. 1 second. All right. All is well. Okay, beauty. So, beauty matters. I mean, I don't know. That was significant for me, to think about beauty from a spiritual aspect. And then how can I embody the divine beauty of life, instead of, because, you know, when you are doing the work of rising up in Christ consciousness and lowering the ego, you know, many things you can feel like you need to humble. So, it's like, I don't want to be too much into my looks and this and that. Like I have had those thoughts, still do, like I check myself. Why am I want to lose weight? Is it for health, or you trying to be, and it's a little bit of both, but I don't want to be too egotistical. I'm just kind of finicky about that. I don't want to get caught up in my ego. So beauty has been one of those areas that I have been contemplative about over time, being too caught up in your quote unquote physical beauty. But so once I studied it, now I value physical beauty in everyone. I like to look for beauty in everyone from an essence standpoint all the way to how their essence manifests in the physical. So anyway, so if your higher self was looking at you and was able to articulate your power, your beauty, and your potential, what would it be? All right, that's number 7. Sorry, that was number 8. That was number 8. Number 9, what ancestral or spiritual support is surrounding me as I move through this rebirth? What ancestral or spiritual support is surrounding me as I move through this rebirth? Now, let me get into my perspective on ancestral support. You just answered which one was it asking about gifts? 4, right? So as you answer number 4, you're going to realize these gifts and all these different things. You can just go ahead and know, not trust, not know that there's someone in your bloodline that has done what you are being called to do. I'm telling you, we are all continuance. We are continuances. I don't care what it is. Someone in your bloodline had that same calling, had that same gift, had that same, all of it. And they came before you, baby. You don't have to figure it all out. They did more than you possibly would ever know. They did more reflection, more prayers, all type of same. You are a continuance, twin. Okay, twin. You are a continuance. So it doesn't matter if you know their name. It's beautiful if you do. And you can put it in your prayers to be revealed. Who were the ancestors who had this same calling, who had this same gifts, who had this, whatever it may be. And when you call on that energy, when you invoke that energy, invoke it in this way I offer, humbly. May all of the prayers, the victories, the successes, the lessons, the vortexes that were created by my ancestors who had this same gift, this same calling, this same mission, may I be endowed with it. May I be endowed with it. They, like you, couldn't stop thinking about it, kept being called, figured things out, that's what it means you're standing on the shoulders of giants. That's what that means. You know what standing on the shoulders is? Girl, that was channel. Somebody said, say that again, please. Baby, it was channel. You're going to have to rewind it. I don't know. I don't even know. It was channel. I'm channeling. Do you know what it means to stand on shoulders? Anybody have a child that you pick up? I know I'm thinking about my nieces. Lord, they so big now. They be trying to still do it. Um, they come, Auntie, can you pick it? And they come, they're not standing on. They just sitting on it. They're just sitting on my shoulders. If you could try to recall back to when you had that experience, I don't know if you've had it in your lifetime where you were able to sit on somebody's shoulders and they walked for you and they picked up for you. Come on, somebody. You're standing. Hey, you're standing on them. Standing. You know the type of balance and strength in your legs and all of that that it takes to stand on some shoulders. And these are not dormant shoulders. These are active shoulders. And you have the balance, the strength to stand on them. And what are you doing while you're standing on them shoulders? You just bend, honey. The people who they're doing the walking. They have the hands. I just want you to really get a visuals of what they are. What are we saying here when we say that? We're standing on shoulders of giants. What are we saying here? You are continuance. I just wanted to put in perspective, a perspective maybe, this what we talk about when we're talking about ancestral support. It's all energy that has been cultivated already, and it's in your blood, it's in your DNA. That energy doesn't stop. It does not stop. So whatever that was, your grandmama figured out, your granddaddy, your great great, your great 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 great, your ancestor that's in Korea, you didn't even know. Come on, somebody. That ancestor that was all the one that was rocking with the dinosaurs, if they were real. In you. In you. They say the mushrooms is your ancestor. God, why you think they call her mother? Or some of the herbs is your ancestor. The tree, that's why we don't play. I don't play when I say thank you to the plants. Or we're one with the tree, we're one with the ladybugs, we're one with the wolves, we're one with the birds, we're one with these are all the energies that you're calling upon. So the question is, what ancestral or spiritual support is surrounding me? When we talk about spiritual support, the spirit lives in an ant. It lives in a bird. It lives in a tree. It lives in the sky. It lives in a cloud. It lives in the wind. It lives in a gemstone. It lives in all of these things. Just in case you need something physical to remind you. But the spirit is an essence and it has everything that you need. What spiritual support is surrounding you? Notice I didn't say what spiritual support you need. What is surrounding you so that you can be in realization of your strength? This is the reason why this is that question here. It's a powerful question. So you can be reminded daily. I have ancestry in this. Remind yourself. I have the energy of the whoever you need, the bee. What do you need? You have it. It's surrounding you. And once you acknowledge it, you activate it. Once you speak it, you activate it. Once you think it, you activate it. I don't give a darn if people laugh at me when I hold a ladybug in my hand and I say, Ladybug, what you trying to tell me? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Ladybug, okay, thank you. Oh, the cat in the window. Oh, whoa, wow, whoa, whoa. What you trying to tell me, cat? Okay, thank you so much. We connected. Thank you so much. What is surrounding you? Half of us, we can't. Well, I'm about to fuss now. Yeah, calm down. I put the gun up. Sorry, my bad. I was about to. It's about that. My bad. What I was gonna say, see, I'm trying to clean up because I be fussing. Be in awareness so you can know what's around you. Because sometimes, gentler, sometimes we're so caught up in life that you don't even realize what's right there around you. You didn't even see the cat. The cat done got in the window, jumped up, and did a shimmy. You ain't even see it. You seen that cat? I ain't seen nothing. What was you doing? I'm gonna need for you to be a little bit more aware, present. Somebody doing the most. Somebody said doing the most. After we turn on, we can. The cat trying to tell you, the ladybug trying to tell you, dreams trying to tell you, everything. The wind done start blowing, you walking everywhere. Why this wind? It's not windy outside. It's windy where I am, baby. It's trying everything trying to tell you. The trees swaying, just smelling the biscuits from your grandmama's and you ain't had her biscuits in 20 years. And why you waking up? For some reason, I don't know, it's crazy. For some reason I keep okay, all right. Trying to call us out. What's going on? Awareness. I've been preaching that for the last. Be in awareness. Come on, become aware now. Come on. It's there. I love that question. What ancestral or spiritual support is surrounding me as I move through this rebirth? It's already surrounding me. She says, yes, me too with the bees. What is that about? Let them tell you. Let them show you. And they're different. You got some honeybees, you got the bumblebees. It's two different messages in those. But pay attention. Be in awareness. And then number 10, last question. What does living as my highest self look like in my relationships, in my work, in my self-care, in my prayer life, in my daily ritual life? What does living as my highest self look like? As a parent, what does it look like? As a daughter, what does it look like? As a servant, what does it look like? As a child of God, what does it look like? As a woman, what does it look like? As a man, what does it look like? What does living as my highest self look like? Okay. 10 questions. Thank you so much, sis, for typing those in the chat room. If you need it, it's in the chat room. Just FYI, for those who were tuned in live, if you want to go back and look over. That is part A of the assignment. Part B. Part B is to sit as your highest self and write a letter to you. What I wrote on here is write a letter from capital U to you, lowercase u. And let me emphasize here, just because I say lowercase u don't mean bad. Don't mean, when I say lower self, I don't mean bad. Lower self is that human self. That human self that has experienced trauma, drama, that has its fears, that's the human lower self. It has value. It can be taught, it can be cultivated. It is the one that activates the highest self. It is the one that the highest self moves through, is activated through. It's something I was either hearing or reading. I can't remember, but I've heard it a few times over the last few days. So it's something I'm probably listening to over and over again. But it says, you are as important to God as God is important to you. And some people don't like to hear that. That's weird to hear. You are important to God as God is important to you. But that makes sense because it's all one. Hello. God expresses itself through you. So don't ever devalue the lower self. Just be in awareness of it. Okay. So that you can, as your highest self, you can help steer it, guide it, cultivate it. So I just want to be clear about that. The part B assignment, thank you for typing it out, is a letter from you, capital Y, you to you, the lowercase y. And I drew a little diagram. I don't know why I drew it so small, but you know, we are this person, right? There was a session that maybe it was Florence Scovel. Somebody said, I heard that too. I think your word is your one. Yeah, okay. I thought it was Florence Scovel. I was like, it's in something that I've been binge listening to. Man, that Florence Scovel has been hitting. I'm like, man, that mug is classic. Hitting. It be hitting every time. Why? I don't know. It's like certain things you hear differently every time you listen to it. Somebody said I actually kind of did this recently. Oh, this activity. Okay, in alignment. That word is your one, or game of life, all of them. Like you hear it differently every time. It's kind of like when I read my charts. Every time I read my birth chart, even though I've read it a billion times, it's like I read it differently. So you were this is you. And there was a time I did a session where we listened to Greg Braden, who talked about these cells that's within the heart, right? And he says, and I want to say they call them cells, yeah. He says, in research, it's like these cells have a mind of their own. They're not connected to, they're not connected to the mind. It's in the heart of itself. And they function in the body almost like they have a mind of their own. I can't remember if I remember what video that is, I'll send it to the chat room. I'll put it in the group me chat room and add it to this replay for my members. But when he was talking about that, it made me think, when you hear people say, listen to your heart, or you hear people like Pam Gregory say, drop into your heart, live from the heart space. This is where, when people say God, the God in me, where they pointing? You're usually going to be right here, the God in me. The highest self resides in your heart. And to me, what Greg Braden was talking about, it really is that voice and that mind of God that's in you. That's always speaking to you and nudging you and trying to guide you and trying to warn you and it's in you. And it doesn't live here. It doesn't live here. Okay? It's here in the center of you. It doesn't live here. It reaches here. It speaks to this, but it's here. And we often ignore that small, still voice. You often ignore that small, still voice. And the voice of the world, the egos, is loud. And so you don't listen there. But you hear it, because when things happen, what do we tend to say? Something told me. Okay? Something told me. So you hear it. It's talking. Because something told me. I knew that. Even if you don't say it out loud, sometimes we be too ashamed to say it out loud. I knew that. I knew it. You thought that was an idea, but that was your intuitive knowing, wisdom. That's what wisdom is, intuitive knowing. That was wisdom talking to you, intuitive knowing. That divine intelligence is always talking to you. And so I'm sharing that because I'm saying, from that space, speak to you. This letter that you're going to write, I want you to drop into the heart space, drop into the highest self of you. You know that voice. You know that space. Get into that space and then speak to you. Speak to you. And I don't know about y'all, but I like to be spoken to lovingly. I like to be spoken to respectfully. I like to be spoken to from a place that people see me. I love when people speak to me in reverence and in honor and in respect and in love and all of those different things. So I'm encouraging you to speak to yourself that way as well. And if you find that your voice is haughty, if from your highest self you're fussing at you, I want you to challenge that. I want you to see, why are you so hard on yourself? Why are you speaking to yourself that way? Why do you feel that your highest self is speaking to you from a place of disappointment, from a place, and believe it or not, this is how some it may come. So I just want to go ahead and mention it now, just in case that is you. If your letter becomes this reprimand, or your letter becomes this like, I need you to shut up. I don't know. Sometimes we're very hard on ourselves. I want you to write your letter from your highest self to you in a way that you like to be spoken to. Okay. You deserve that. You honor that. Honor that. She says, "Ooh, I like when people speak to me directly and specifically." Okay, well, then we know your letter is going to be direct and specific. You're going to be direct and specific. Okay, is that great? Is that the great grading video about the heart that I'm thinking about? It has this where he talks about all, I think it's, I can't remember. It's like 40,000 or 40 or 400 or something like that. Okay, good. All right. Okay, wonderful. Yes. That's definitely Greg Braden. I know that for sure. I just couldn't remember which video it was. I just found and read a letter I wrote to myself 18 months ago. Wow. My God, my cup runneth over. Give thanks. All right, I think we have part A and B, right? Oh, okay. Yes, you definitely are going to be happy to be introduced to Greg Braden. His work is wonderful. Um, he's very focused on heart-mind coherence. I won't say very focused on it, but that's a lot of his work is heart-mind coherence. He likes to speak a lot about, the science of the heart. I've been able to definitely gain a lot of value from Greg Braden in that. Heart Math Institute. He works a lot with, the Heart Math Institute. He's also the one that he does a lot of work with, what's the word I'm looking for? Aramaic text, the original text of the Bible. And he talks about a lot of the hidden books and the hidden language, like language, the words that have been deleted and what the scriptures truly say. He has very good work on that. I think it's called Aram. Am I saying that right? Aramaic. Okay, I thought that's what Aramaic. So yeah, he's good. And his crew. You know what I'm saying? Him and his crew. They're good. Between him and Joe Dispenza, I would say, yeah. He's definitely, Joe Dispenza's a part of his crew. Now, Greg Braden goes a little deeper in spiritual science, while Joe Dispenza kind of leans towards the kind of intellectual with like low-key science, spirituality. But both of those are good. All right, so we have part A and part B for this new moon. Listen, here's the challenge. Don't you let this new moon pass by, and you got this wonderful assignment. Can anybody agree with that? Wonderful assignment. Wonderful assignment. This profile, baby, huh? Deep. She said, question, Sharina here says, number 9, question number 9, profound. Yes. Deep work. Somebody said really deep work. This is really powerful, life-changing. It is. It is. I'm telling you now. And it's a new moon. It's an eclipse. You got the Mercury retrograde. You have the Venus retrograde. And then you have this new moon is in Aries energy. I mean, and it's being channeled through in this session. I doubt anyone else is sitting down, getting this, you know what I mean? Because it's being channeled for us. So let us do this work. And it's being channeled. I didn't plan this out like that, so it's being channeled for us. So let us be obedient to this assignment. Let's sit down with it. I don't care how busy you are, and you ain't that busy. Okay. Find some time to do it. And don't rush through it, because it may take you some time. And if you get tired or, whatever, pause and come back to it. Okay. Once you do it, this is new moon, so you want to keep this. You want to keep it. If you're doing it on loose leaf, you want to keep this in a place that you keep your loose leaf journaling prompts. Of course, ideally, having a new moon journal is powerful, to have you a specific new moon journal. And so keep this and date it. Make sure you date this because, and I'm going to say, as you do your journaling, if you don't date now, please start dating, because right now with the astrological atmosphere, it's going to be helpful for you to be able to go back to dates to be in reflection. All right. So I was listening to something that said go back to April of 2023 and see what you had going on. And this eclipse is going to things are going to blossom from that time. Things are blossoming from that time. If you want a little bit of insight, but you can do that, with a lot of the different things, because they run in cycles. These are cycles that are completing themselves. And when you're getting into astrology, you begin to understand that we have cycles that are completing themselves. And we're in a lot of completion of cycles time right now. A lot of like, these planets have been in this station for 23 years. They're now coming back, and it won't be like this for the next 50 years. You hearing that kind of stuff, And so paying attention to those can be very helpful. Did I miss the time span? Time span? The time span of what? I'm sorry, Mama Colleen. All right. So the letter that you're writing from your higher self to you, and just this journaling and everything as well. It would be wonderful if you could get a candle, even if it's just a 3-day candle, but a 7-day candle would do, to light, put a prayer over it, light it, and put this work near it. Keep it lit. If you're one that's nervous about keeping your candles lit overnight in a certain place, you can snuff it out. Don't blow it out. Snuff it out, meaning just cover it, snuff it out, not with your hand, unless you're gangster, with something that won't burn, and then light it as soon as you come home and just keep it lit. The whole significance of that is you're literally keeping the energy going. You're keeping it lit. You're allowing that energy to really keep going with you during this new moon period. How many questions were there? There were there were 10 questions. There were 10 questions, and they're in the chat room, by the way. And I'm going to do my best to post this as soon as possible. Mama Colleen, I was coming to you. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm asking you to unmute now.
Hi, everybody. Just a silly question. What I meant by that is, I know I listened to some other videos and I know that some of this stuff goes on for 23 years and all of that
Yeah.
nonsense, but I wondered for this assignment, is there like a hot time span that we're supposed to be doing it within?
Thank you. I thought that's what you meant. I just wanted to be clear.
Yeah.
Wonderful question. When I'm usually referencing like use this time period, I'm really talking about this, of course, new moon time, but I'm speaking of the new moon plus the waxing moon. Yeah. So I'm saying that a prime time for you to do this type of work, of course, is during this new moon period, which is now. Like it kind of started late last night, all the way into today, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Okay, so during this time period, you want to do it. And listen, stack it up with some energy. Take time during the moon hour to do this work. Take time during the moon hour. That's why I introduce you all to these apps and different things to help you out. I stack up. If I'm working on something specific, I'm going to do it during during that hour, that planetary hour. So check out your moon hours, clock those moon hours, and do the specific journaling and the exercises on the moon hours for the next 3 days. We know Monday is moon day. So maybe set aside the time on moon day in general. Let that be a very reflective day that you're using that time and space. And definitely, maybe spend those moon hours on the moon day in prayer or in affirmation or in mantra during those times. That's how you can kind of stack energy. The app that I use for the horror watch is called Horror Watch. HORA watch, all one word. HORA watch. And that's going to give you the times of the hours. But once you get a hang of it, you pretty much know what hour, you know, what planetary hour it is once you get a hang of it. But that app is very efficient. So thank you for that question, Mama Colleen. This is a life-changing exercise. It's a life-shifting exercise. Here are some things that you can do once you finish this exercise, you finish your letter. If you want to extend this exercise, you can now say, what are my values now as this newest version, as this highest version of myself, or new version? What values, what beliefs, you know, what boundaries, what boundaries? These are key questions, very good questions to ask yourself. What are my values? What are my boundaries? You know, and lastly, I'll say if you need support working through this, get support. Get support. Book a session with me. We can talk some things through. You know, this type of work is so key. I don't know. I don't know how else we can really tune into spirit so that we can walk in spirit and truth without doing this type of work, right? So do it. Life gonna be life, and baby, till the fit wheels fall off, and they never gonna fall off. That's the T. They never gonna fall off. Because when you go in the ground, them wheels still gonna be on. So I mean, energy doesn't stop. So life can pause. I don't have to, baby, pause, okay? Because time is an illusion. We're in quantum leap period. So God tell you to pause for a whole week, and you think you missing out on something. And honey, you come back and it's all done and more. Like you're just like, how did that happen? Like, so I'm telling you, take your time, do your work. Do your work. Thank you, Whitney. Do your work. Take your time and do your work. Thank you, sisters, for putting that in the chat. Okay. All right. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, we're gonna go ahead and close. Hold the vibrations. Remember, when you sit back down with this work, take a moment to breathe, center yourself in your body and your breath. Affirm that the work that you're doing is powerful, it is effective, it's fertile, it's on fertile ground. Those seeds that you're planting is on fertile ground. I'm clear, I'm open, I trust myself, I trust the highest self, I trust my inner voice, do all of that centering before you start. And remember to keep that ego at bay, because as you're doing this type of self-work, sometimes the ego be creeping in and saying stuff and getting nosy and all this kind of stuff. You have to pause and get it in check. Tell it to sit down somewhere. Now you can be here, but you're going to have to sit down. You can come in the room, but you're going to have to sit down. Okay? They said you be in your place now. Sit down. And once I figure some things out, let you know some things, you may be activated, but you may not. You might have to sit this out the whole way through, You really, I don't know about y'all, but I be really talking to myself like that. Like, sit down. Cause I be eager, boy. Like, I don't know, cause I don't know. I be, it's that Virgo energy me. I think it's just be a lot. You're like, oh, what is this? And what is that? And what is this? And what is that? It's like, ma'am, sit down. You're gonna find out. All right, I'll sit down. Okay. All right. Any color candles? White is appropriate forever. Okay, white, especially right now. White, 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 white. Pink, as I mentioned earlier in the session, and green. Those are what I'm suggesting for this new moon. White, pink, and green. As you realize, that's heart chakra. Green is fertility, fertile, grounding. 528, pink, same way. We got this Mercury retrograde. We got the Venus retrograde. These candles are really good in that time. And then the whites, just for purity, holy ground, sacredness, sanctity, all those different things is the white candle. So white, pink, and green is what I would suggest. Same way with gemstones. Clear, white, smoky quartz, cream, pinks, pink calcite, rose quartz, red calcite, which is a pink, has pink hues. Green, aventurine, green, we got a whole lot of greens. Green, jasper, green, you got a lot to work with. All right. All right. Well, this will be posted as soon as I'm able to post it so that I can give it to you so you can listen back if you need to. I commit to that. I'll just wait around here until I'm able to download and upload it. And I pray that this is, I when I pray, I'm speaking. I always want to clarify that. I pray or proclaim that this session is profound, memorable, um, and that we will allow ourselves. I speak that we will allow ourselves to really shine through, okay? Our highest selves to really shine through, to allow God to really, truly express itself in its highest form through us, as us. So much so that we don't have to try to trust and we just be. We be. We walk in it. I give thanks in advance for that shift. Ashe. Amen. I mean. All right. Thank y'all for joining me this evening. Happy new moon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.